Let's get started with pens and paper in Notability and how to set those up. As you notice over here, you have your folders already set. Select the folder that you'd like to add a note to. For example, I'm in Telling Stories. You can see I have 2 documents in here. To add another document, down in the bottom right-hand corner, I'm going to select the blue dot. From here, it will populate and just automatically set up a blank canvas. But if you're like me, you really need to have lines of some sort. So if you go to the top, you'll notice the 3 dots. Go ahead and select the 3 dots. From here, you can select Templates. And on the templates, if you scroll down, you can see you have plenty of templates to choose from, even the popular Avid Cornell notes. One of my absolute favorites have to be the dot paper and/or grid. I'll be choosing one of those and explaining why in a moment. You'll also notice that on this paper, I also have the 3 ellipses. On this, I can actually change the size of my dots and enlarge them or keep them small. What I like to do is I keep them at the size 2 spacing because it gives me the most flexibility to keep my handwriting legible, neat, and clean. Once you select your paper, then what you're going to do is select Apply, and it will automatically fill in for you. So a couple things too is if you select the double paper at the very top, this way you can scroll and you can see how many pages you have in your notes. And you can also easily just add paper as you go. So this allows you to add a page, you can delete a page, you can build your notes very easily. When I'm taking notes, I like to toggle that off just because it gives me more landscape. At the very top of Notability in the middle, you'll notice that you have quite a few options. The very first one is for a text box. If you want to type your notes, you certainly can. You can use your keyboard and actually just start typing, and then you can take notes by typing. However, some of you might feel like with this, it's a little bit difficult then to place your words on the page. So I'm going to show you some different options instead of that. Another way, instead of typing your notes, is to handwrite them. Let's select the pencil tool. The pencil tool is right next to it. When you select it, you're going to see that you have a variety of different colors that you can use. So the very first, this slider here, is for the thickness of the pen. For example, if I put it on 9 and then begin writing, I'm going to have really large and thick lettering. Once we select again and we move it down, you can see that it is going to get smaller, thinner, and a little bit more easily controlled. So you can select the thickness of the pen depending on the type of notes. Maybe headers you want it a little more thicker, and maybe for taking detailed notes you want it a tad bit thinner. You also can see that there's different widths of types of pens you can use. The very first one is a more standard. This is more calligraphy, gives you a little bit more swirl at the end. And then if you're making cool arrows or you need lines and dots, you can also select that. Then you also have a lot of color options. When selecting your color options, one thing that I absolutely love about Notability is you can make your own little marker palette. So for example, I know I use black as a go-to color. I'm going to add it to the star here. It's going to start creating a pencil toolkit for me that I can float anywhere in my notes. Then let's say not only do I want to have black, I want to have some kind of cool teal in there, and I'm going to select that and add it as my star. Then again, maybe I want a blue, and then you can continue going through. You can also add your own custom colors, and you can add the RGB code if you know it. So these are a really cool way just to design your own pencil toolkit. These then can become your favorites that you use all the time. So I do usually have some kind of pink in mind. I'm going to grab it just so that we can use it for this demonstration. And let me get a cool pink. There we go. We'll go back and get some of the other colors as well. Here we go. Add that one, and you can see I didn't add my pink. Let's go back, hit that star. All right, now once you have your pencil toolkit, you can also then start navigating your toolkit in the same way as using the markers at the top. This then becomes a little bit more fluid when you're note taking. The other part too is you'll notice you probably need some highlighters, right? So the highlighter toolkit works in the exact same way. And again, just like our color pen tab, blah, blah, blah. You also can add highlighters to your pen toolkit. So select the next icon over, and again, it's going to act the same way as the other. You can toggle it for the width of the pen. You can choose the type of lines that you would like to make with your highlighter, and you can certainly choose your colors. I'm going to grab a nice gold, and then we're going to add it and put it into the stars as one of my favorites. So now I even have a highlighter in my pen toolkit, and then that will allow me, let me see, we'll do 10, absolutely fantastic. That allows me to highlight my words. If I don't use that and I use the pen, you're going to notice that it's not going to be transparent. It's actually going to black out my words. So why is my pen not working?
Well, your pen's just...
So let's say you don't want to type your notes. You want a little bit more flexibility? Then use the pen tool. The pen tool offers so many options. When you select the pen tool, you'll notice right away that there's 3 different major categories. One is the width of the stroke, that you can have a lot of flexibility in changing it. The other is the type of lines that you want to create. This is a normal standard. This is more calligraphy, gives you that swirl and end with your lettering. And then also it has a variety of colors and even ones that you can add to yourself. So let's just get started and look at the width of the lines. For example, I'm going to use the calligraphy stroke and I'm going to choose number 9. With my dots here, then I can easily write with my pen. You can see the thickness on this, so perhaps I'm going to move it down maybe to a 2. Now I'll probably have a little bit thinner and cleaner line. So play around with it, see what you like. The next part too, though, that you want to consider is possibly even just adding your own colors. Adding your own colors can give a little bit pizzazz. You can choose the color wheel here and pick exact ones. If you know the RGB code, you can type it in and get the exact color you're looking for. The other part, too, is that you can also have a pen feature versus a pencil, and it just gives you a little bit different look and feel. So again, play around with those. However, the best part about this whole feature and Notability is you can create your entire own palette so that you can use the same markers over and over and over for every note. The way that you're going to do that is you're going to go ahead and select the star at the top. You'll notice now that I automatically added that green color. I still have all the same features that I have before. I can change the width, I can change the style, and I could even change the color if I so chose. But what I want to do is set up this toolkit. So I'm going to go back to the pencils, and then at this point, I'm going to go back to my colors. I'm going to get a black because I use black almost all the time in my notes, and I'm going to add it to my star. You can continue adding pencils right here. And at the same time, as soon as you get your markers set, you can also move them around in your page so they don't distract you when you're writing. You can also add highlighters. Highlighters are absolutely fantastic. I'm going to add this yellow one to my palette. I'm going to select my black pen right here, and I just want to show the difference in highlighting. So when I select my highlighter, you'll notice that when I write, I can still see my lettering. If I have it on a pencil tool, and I'll select a different color so you can see that. We'll go with the green. You can see that it's going to bleed through. Let me get it thicker so that you can really see what happens. And I can no longer read my writing. So if you want to use the highlighter, you have to select the highlighter palette. Make sure then add your favorite colors for highlighting. I have a standard 2 to 3 colors that I add. Now when I make mistakes, There's the eraser tool. Again, the eraser tool gives you about a width for the strokes and a whole and a partial option. The whole option is that if I select whole, it's going to erase everything. If I select partial, it's only going to eliminate that part. So depending on what you're trying to erase, you'll have to consider whether you want everything gone or just a little bit to redo. So with that, that is our pen tool. Next up is selecting.
Action.
Another great feature besides the toolkit has to be the lasso. So the lasso tool is right here. And when you select this one, it's got some really cool features. Number one, you'll just notice that it's freehand rectangular. You can also add it to your toolkit if you so choose. Voila, now there's my lasso. What I like about the lasso is when you select it even on freehand, you can move things around very easily in your notes. So let's say you want to take headers and you want the same consistent look and feel for every header. That means you can lasso it, you can copy it, and then you can just paste it. And now you have the same type going throughout your notes, which gives it a nice consistency. A couple other features about the lasso tool that are time savers is number one, style. Again, let's say you're doing headers, you have different sections. Well, I can change it from green to orange. With this also, I can even go to purple if I so chose. The other part, too, that I really like is within this, you can also, in the lasso tool, not only can you change the colors of your words, but you can also convert them. Conversion is fantastic. You have the option to convert to text, as well as if you're doing math equations, straight into equations. So for this one, I'm going to choose text, and voila, now I have my text feature. The only part is that you'll have to go back and change the color, which isn't a big deal, but I know, not a game changer. So in addition to changing your words from green to purple and various colors, you can also change it to text. If you select Convert, you have the option to change it to text, or if you're in a math class, math equations. How cool is that, right? We're going to select text, and then it will convert it into text. Perfect, right? So with that, I hope you've really enjoyed it. That's all today. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode. If you found this helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more iPad tips and tricks. Until next time.